What's up, y'all? I want to talk about the Xander Zayas versus Boots Ennis fight for the unified 154-pound title. Two of the belts on the line. Whoever wins this fight will be halfway to undisputed. This is a great matchup, though, between Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas. It's a lot of people who say that Xander Zayas is not ready yet. No, he's ready. 22, 23, you ready, man. He's ready. He's youthful. He's fresh. He started boxing at 16, so he's ready. Boots, he's more than ready. I have not seen. Now, to me, this is both of their tests. This is both of their biggest tests, in my opinion. Boots had a pretty good fight with Ennis. I thought that was a pretty good fight for him. Going into the fight, I had to go look at some more Xander Zayas fights because I had only seen two of his fights up until that point. But I wanted to go back 6 fights and watch 6 fights coming up. And what I can decipher, because I've seen a lot of Boots fights, what I can decipher, so I know what Boots has. What I can decipher with Xander Zayas is he can fight. He's fundamentally sound, got a nice jab, nice movement. He can be aggressive at times. He had a nice array of punches. He's just well schooled. And the thing about this fight is hard. What is hard to pick about what these two fighters are is because they're both each other's biggest tests. So I never really seen either of these guys tested in the way I would like to see fighters tested, so I can have a proper assessment on how they would act in the fight when it's time to make an adjustment. Because when you fight a guy that's there to win the fight and is on your level, it's going to be a time in the fight unless one guy get knocked out early. Either the guys get knocked out early, you're gonna have to make an adjustment. Now, what concerns me with Boots is when he fought Karen, the first time, he couldn't cut off the ring. He did not make an adjustment in a 12-round fight, right? And then he fought him again, and he didn't look good in the second fight. So to me, that's a concern from the standpoint of, I know when Boots can do when he's front running, but I seen what he does when he has an adjustment that he needs to make. So he went 12 rounds with Karen without making an adjustment. I don't care about him going 12 rounds. I just care that he didn't cut off the ring at any point. And in the second fight, he didn't look good in that fight either. Now, he won both of the fights, which is good. It's always good to win and learn when you're winning. That's the best sign people, in competitive sports. It's always good to learn when you're winning. It feels much better. But I'm going to go slightly with Xander Zayas. What I like about Xander Zayas, to me, he has a base of what he wants to do in the ring, especially his last 3 fights. He has a really good, consistent jab. Now, both of these guys are like 5'10". Xander Zayas look a little taller when they do the face-up. I don't know if he had high shoes on, but he looked a little taller. They both have the same arm reach, which is 74-inch reach. To me, Boots, he doesn't throw a consistent jab. He throws a jab, but it's not a consistent jab. And this fight, to me, whoever establishes a jab first, to me, is going to win the fight. And I'm going to go with Xander Zayas because he has a consistent jab. And what a jab does, it works every punch off of that. And another thing a jab does is that's very important too. It dictates pace and when we're going to start exchanging. When you have a consistent jab, you keep the other fighter off balance. And the guy with the jab, with a consistent jab that's actually doing something, it helps dictate pace. And remember, Xander Zayas is a unified champion. So Boots can't come up in here and have a close fight. Now, he says he's levels above Xander Zayas. That means you have to go in there and separate yourself from Xander Zayas. It cannot be close because you can't go in there and beat a unified champion and the fight is close. So what I'm gonna say is I got Xander Zayas by split decision. And if his jab is coupled with his jab and his movement. See, that's another thing that Xander Zayas can move in the ring. It's not running movement, it's pivoting and boxing movement, which Bruce Ennis has a problem with. And I don't know if he rectified that yet. So I know what Xander Zayas and them seen on tape. Xander Zayas, to me, he has settled down some. Because earlier Xander Zayas was a guy that was a little reckless. He was a little reckless in the ring, leave himself wide open too many times. Now, neither one of these guys really move their head off the line. Xander Zayas they both move their bodies, but they don't really move their heads off the line. So both of the guys are going to be susceptible to getting hit a lot in this fight. In my humble opinion, both of these guys are going to be getting hit a lot. They both are accumulation punchers. They both can punch. Maybe Xander Zayas has a slight edge in the power department at 154. I mean, we'll see in the fight versus Boots. He has shown, some power at 154. They both have shown some power at 154. It's just Xander Zayas been at 154 for a while. So let me know what y'all think. I got Xander Zayas to win the fight by a split decision. I just think his jab and coupled with his movement is going to be enough to keep Boots off balance. And another thing Xander Zayas kept saying, I'm going to frustrate him. Because just like I seen, and I think a lot of y'all seen in both of the carrying fights, Boots was frustrated because things were not going his way. Things were not going as planned. So he got frustrated in both of the fights. So I think Xander Zayas, they both are looking at that because that's a pattern. It's not just a runoff. You could have said, okay, it's a runoff that he didn't do good in the first fight versus Karen and he didn't cut off the ring. You could say that's a one-off. I don't say it's a one-off because I think it's fundamentally a hole in your game if you go 12 rounds with someone and you don't figure out a way to cut off the ring. But I think that they watched those two fights in particular and they seen like, he didn't have his way in this fight. He was frustrated. And these are the things that guy was able to do. And these are the things that with my style, I can be able to do. This is what Xander Zayas is thinking. But Boots is a good fighter himself. He can come in and win the fight, no doubt. Xander Zayas is not a world beater. I just think Xander Zayas, because he has a foundation, and to me, Boots still try to rely on power shots, a lot of power shots, and he don't use his jab enough, and everything is fast. Boots still has not settled down and learned how to change speeds because he hasn't been in a ring with anyone to make him realize that you can get timed. Speed can get timed. And I think that's another thing that Xander Zayas is looking at. But let me know what y'all think, man. I think Xander Zayas by split decision. I'm out.